Some symptoms don't feel medical. They feel random, like sweating for no reason, or your legs refusing to stay still at night, or feeling mentally flat even when nothing is wrong. Most people never connect these signs. They blame stress. They blame age. They blame bad sleep. But these signals aren't random. They're what happens when one key regulator in the body starts running low. And once you understand how these signs connect, you may realize your body has been trying to get your attention for a long time. Why vitamin D is different. Most people think of vitamin D as a bone vitamin, something basic, something optional. But vitamin D doesn't behave like a typical vitamin. It functions more like a hormone. Instead of just supporting reactions, it sends instructions. It helps decide how strongly nerves fire, how calmly systems regulate themselves, and how efficiently the body recovers after stress. So when vitamin D levels drop, the body doesn't shut down. It loses coordination, and that loss shows up first as strange, scattered symptoms, not obvious disease. Sign 1. Unexplained head or scalp. Sweating. This one catches people off guard. Sweating from the scalp or hairline, especially when you're not hot and not exerting yourself. This isn't about temperature. Vitamin D plays a role in calcium balance, and calcium is a major signaling molecule for the nervous system. When vitamin D is low, calcium signaling becomes unstable. That instability increases activity in the autonomic nervous system, the system that controls sweating, heart rate, and stress responses. So the body behaves as if it's under pressure, even when nothing is actually wrong. That's why scalp sweating often appears at night or during calm moments. Sign 2. Muscle weakness. That feels deep. This isn't soreness, and it's not post-workout fatigue. It feels deeper than that. Like the muscles just don't respond the way they used to. Vitamin D helps transport calcium into muscle cells, and calcium is what actually triggers muscle contraction. When vitamin D is low, muscles receive the nerve signal but can't generate full force. This tends to affect large muscles, first hips, thighs, and glutes, the muscles responsible for standing, climbing stairs, and lifting. People often assume this is aging, but more often, it's loss of regulation, not decline. Sign 3. Low mood or loss of motivation. This isn't dramatic depression, it's quieter, a flattened mood, lower drive, less interest in things that once felt rewarding. Vitamin D influences dopamine and serotonin, two neurotransmitters deeply involved in motivation and emotional balance. Receptors for both exist in the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for focus, decision-making, and self-control. When vitamin D levels fall, these systems lose stability. You don't feel sad all the time. You just feel less engaged with life. Sign 4. Bone, tooth, or back pain without injury. Vitamin D helps absorb calcium from the gut. When absorption drops, the body compensates. It pulls calcium from bones to keep blood levels stable. This preserves short-term survival but weakens structure over time. The result can be deep bone pain, tooth sensitivity, or unexplained back discomfort. This pain often doesn't respond well to painkillers because it's not just inflammation, it's a structural signaling imbalance. Sign 5. Feeling noticeably better in sunlight. This one feels almost emotional. You step into sunlight, and within minutes your mood lifts and your mind feels clearer. That happens too quickly to be actual vitamin D production. Instead, it's a predictive response. The brain recognizes ultraviolet light and anticipates incoming vitamin D. It adjusts neurotransmitters in advance. That's why some people crave sunlight without realizing why. Sign 6. Fatigue. That rest doesn't fix. Vitamin D directly influences mitochondrial enzymes. Mitochondria are the structures that produce ATP, the body's usable energy. When vitamin D is low, mitochondrial efficiency drops. You still burn fuel but produce less energy from it. This fatigue feels heavy, persistent, different from simple sleep deprivation, because rest alone can't fix energy production problems. By now, a pattern becomes clear. This isn't about one system failing. It's about multiple systems falling out of sync. And that's why the next signs feel even stranger. Sign 7. Hair shedding or patchy. Hair loss. Vitamin D regulates hair follicle cycles. Hair follicles move through growth, rest, and shedding phases. Low vitamin D can trap follicles in the resting phase. Hair becomes brittle. Growth slows. Shedding increases. Vitamin D also helps regulate immune balance. When levels fall, immune activity can become misdirected, sometimes targeting hair follicles themselves. That's why this type of hair loss often appears suddenly and doesn't follow genetic patterns. Sign 8. Restless legs or crawling sensations. That uncomfortable urge to move your legs at night even when you're exhausted. Vitamin D influences dopamine, which helps regulate movement. Dopamine naturally decreases at night. If vitamin D is already low, that drop becomes exaggerated. Low calcium signaling also increases nerve excitability. Together, these changes create misfiring signals that feel like crawling, twitching, or restlessness. Sign 9. Poor concentration or brain fog. Vitamin D functions almost like a neurosteroid. It supports clean neural signaling and helps regulate calcium flow in neurons. When levels fall, signaling becomes noisy. Messages travel less efficiently. Focus slips. Mental clarity fades. Vitamin D also supports BDNF, a factor that helps the brain adapt, learn, and recover. Low BDNF means slower thinking and reduced cognitive resilience. Sign 10. Chronic, widespread pain. Vitamin D helps regulate pain at multiple levels. In the peripheral nervous system, low vitamin D increases sensitivity, so signals feel stronger. In the central nervous system, vitamin D helps control how pain is interpreted. Low levels amplify perception and prolong discomfort. Vitamin D also helps suppress inflammatory markers. When it's low, inflammation rises quietly. The result is pain that feels global, persistent, and difficult to explain. The bigger picture. Modern life makes low vitamin D more common. Indoor living, screens, sunscreen, urban environments, higher latitudes. This doesn't mean everyone is deficient, and it doesn't mean you should guess. Vitamin D is powerful. Too much can be harmful. Awareness matters more than assumptions. Testing matters. Context matters. Vitamin D deficiency doesn't announce itself loudly. It whispers. Through strange symptoms. Through subtle changes. Through systems losing coordination. If several of these signs felt familiar, don't panic. Pay attention. Your body communicates long before it breaks down. And if this helped you connect dots you've been ignoring, share it with someone who needs understanding, not fear. Your body is always talking. The question is whether we're listening or waiting until the signals get louder.